Okay, now, Sanjith was supposed to be part of the panel discussion, but he had told me that he would be a bit late. Sanjith was one of the youngsters who went for the Houston Kananaya Convention for the youth. And let me ask him to come and, just give his experience as to what he felt and how beneficial he thought that whole experience was. Sanjith.
How you guys doing today? My Malayalam is not that great, so I'm going to talk in English. My experience was it was great. It was the first youth convention in over 10 years, and the one thing that I observed was that it was just me and Kevin from San Antonio. It was just us, both of us representing the youth convention. And there were a lot of activities related to the youth specifically, compared to all the other conventions that we've been to, it was kind of like a cluster of different activities. But this youth convention, was specifically for the kids, and I met a lot of kids just like me who went to college, who pursued an accounting degree, and we had a lot of cordial conversation. And we also had discussions just like this. We had a panel of all the youth members, of all the Kananaya youth members, like 20, 21-year-old members, and all the high priests on the other side. And there was a priest asking questions about, it was like a group discussion right after Mass. He talked about the future of Kananaya and how our culture is mixing in or trying to keep the traditions alive. And certain questions that you normally wouldn't ask here, because those kids are, more Americanized kids than me or any of the panel here. So the questions that were being asked was more related to the teenage group. And we talked about endogamy, we talked about a lot of things that impacted our community. And also we also had a bunch of events related to kids. We have Olympics and stuff like that. And the one thing I noticed was 3 years ago, when we went to the national convention, we had a basketball team. It was me, Shobin, Jerry, Kevin, Danny, Victor. We had a whole group from San Antonio. This time I went there, I wanted to participate in something, so I decided to participate in basketball. And when I went there, it was just me and Kevin from San Antonio. So I wanted to play for the mixed team, but I guess the kids didn't show up. So it was really sad that we couldn't participate in anything. And usually this is the time when we have fun, but I decided to share that experience with a bunch of other kids, a bunch of new kids that I've never met before. And that's the one thing that I learned about this community. As we move forward, we should probably be more united. We already have a sort of small group compared to Houston, which their youth community is very, very strong and very populated. Dallas youth community is very strong and populated. Ours, we only have maybe 12, 13 kids my age, and on top of that, we don't get to see each other in events like this. It kind of takes away the interest in coming to certain events. And that's something that I'm telling to everybody, because my friends are thinking the same way. They don't want to come to these events because of the simple fact that they don't get to interact with kids their age and like to talk about what they would like to do. So next convention, my goal for next convention is have the old team that I had from when I was in 8th grade. Just go back, go back in time and bring the past back here in the future, next convention in Chicago. And I think that should be our forward thinking. That's how we think, because we already have, we are outnumbered by a bunch of other communities, Houston, Dallas, Florida, and the fun that they're having and the experience that they share. Us, we are such a split up youth. Like, I barely see my friends. Our youth is so split up compared to all the other youth communities in America, Kananaya youth community. So I think that's something we should touch upon. And all I gotta say about the convention. And I encourage more parents to send their kids to these youth conventions, and it's a lot more fun than regular conventions. Actually, it's a time for the kids to get together. So thank you.
Any other questions? Are we done? Are we ready for dinner? Okay, so with that, I just keep the mic, and hoping that from here onwards, we chart out a new course of action for them, taking their ideas and creativity in mind.